Hello everyone, it's DA here with a full recap of the Anthem developer stream. This is going to be a shorter version for those of you who missed the 1 hour stream. So with that said, let's get started. The goal of this stream is going to be to show you the legendary contracts. Legendary contracts are top tier bounties in Anthem, and they can be acquired from any of the many factions within the game. Each faction contract will give you missions and rewards pertaining to that faction. And even if you have done that contract before, you can still redo it as much as you want, but there are lots of things that will change. There will be a lot of randomness, and the variables about that mission will change as well. So while you watch this gameplay, let's go on to the questions and answers. One of the things that people asked was about the mouse and keyboard controls, and as a lot of you remembered, in one of my older videos I suggested that you guys should use controller when you are playing Anthem. A lot of people really did give me help for that. However, the developer also noticed that as well, so their response to that is that they have actually fixed and improved the mouse and keyboard configuration. It is a lot better. Now when it comes to relics, relics will be scattered across the world, and they may also summon different creatures. So it's going to be like if you open certain chests in games like Dark Souls and you have a certain type of enemy that just pop out of that chest, and you have to kill that enemy before you can claim the item. So you're going to see things like that where you are going to see shaper relics, and then you try to acquire the item, and then an enemy could spawn because those fields do spawn enemies. So an enemy could spawn, and then you will have to kill that enemy and then collect whatever the enemy drops. So this is going to be very important. You can find shaper relics during missions, and you can also find it on your free roam. Now while you are going on a mission or on a free roam, if there was an item that you missed, let's say the enemy dropped some loot and you forgot to pick it up, maybe you were just so invested in the action, what is going to happen is that the higher rarity items like the rare weapons, the rare gear item, they will be automatically sent to your mailbox in Fort Tarsus or your mobile base. So the great thing about this is even if you did not pick an item up, you can still get it. Now the thing about this also is that other items such as maybe certain resources will not be picked up. The reason for this is because they want to make sure that people are not just abandoning items, but if you miss a legendary or masterwork item, don't worry about it because it will be in your mailbox. Another one is that each faction will have daily, weekly, and monthly events and monthly quests. So this will eliminate boredom, or the fact that you will feel like you're doing the same thing over and over. This will eliminate any of that issue. So you will have new things, and of course you will have the addition of the expansions and other things during the year. Now contracts will also have diversity. I remember I talked about earlier on. They will also get difficult as you progress through that mission. So the first level could be a little bit difficult, and the next level within that contract will be a lot harder. Now this is just within one single mission, so you will see a lot of that variation as you play through them. Another thing that someone asked was how flying is impacted by the environment, and one of the things that they confirmed is that when the rain pours, it actually cools down your javelin, so you can fly almost indefinitely if there is rain in the environment. So that is actually one of the cool things that I like to see. Now another one is that there will be dab emotes in the game. A lot of people have been asking about that. So there are going to be several emotes, several animations, arrival animations, victory poses, and all that kind of stuff. Dab emotes will be in there, so you can dab on your enemies. Now another thing to also pay attention to is that certain enemies will be mobile, while certain enemies will be a little bit slow when it comes to mobility. And the reason for this is because of the nature of those enemies. If you are going against titans move a little bit slower, versus if you're going against a giant spider, which just moves around and hops around from place to place. So you will notice that in gameplay. Another cool thing to point out when it comes to enemy mobility is that the terrain can also restrict the enemy mobility. So if you're able to corner an enemy in a place where they cannot run around, it can be to your own advantage, but it can also be to your own disadvantage. So that is an important thing to know in terms of enemy AI. Now moving on to the last piece of information. If your entire squad dies, what happens? Well, the good news is that your entire squad will respawn at your last checkpoint. Now, if you have an item that you don't want, you can also salvage the item like you do in most games like Destiny. So you can salvage the item for other resources. But that is going to be it for this dev stream recap. Hope you guys find it informative. If there are other information that I uncover, I will let you guys know. But until then, it's DA signing out. I'll see you guys in the next one.